Hey, how you doing? This is Len, aka the Bat Tribble. I'm not introducing the show just yet because we had a slight camera issue, and now I'm going to take care of that. So hold on to that thought, all of you in the chat, and I'll be right back. Just enjoy yourself and watch. Look at the cushions for just a moment. I'm coming back soon. I think they can hear me. Okay.
So should I be looking at you or should I be looking at me?
You should be seeing me
Usually I see me on this camera.
because I went immediately in.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
There you go. All right.
So
All right. So hold on.
hold on.
Hold on.
All right. Holding on a second.
Hold on, everybody.
All right. We all holding on.
Please hold on. Hold on to your love.
Boy, that was a good video.
It was. All right. Let's go. All right.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
And we're back. Welcome to the Me Show Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast. Every black film ever made. My name is Len, aka the Bat Tribble. And as always, I'm joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to bring you episode 279 on our road to 300. And it's Vincent's selection this week
It is.
as we review from 1983 Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, Ralph Bellamy, Donna Michi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I buried the lead, Eddie Murphy,
Yes.
in John Landis' Trading Places.
You're not going to talk about the very important cast member who plays cellmate number 2?
Oh, yes, that's right. Featuring in a featured role that you cannot miss as cellmate number 2.
Cellmate number 2.
One flexing Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancarlo Esposito. Yes, this is where it all begins.
This is-
As cellmate number 2.
yes, as he began practicing his role in Breaking Bad.
Yes, absolutely.
It all began on Trading Places.
As cellmate number 2.
Hey, what's up, Vince?
Oh, nothing much. How are you?
I'm doing very
Good
fine.
to see you. Good holiday. Good
I
Thanksgiving.
did have a good holiday. I forgot, almost forgot this is our first show.
I
since the
know.
holiday.
I know. The days, they do fly.
I did have a good holiday. I had
Excellent.
a Friendsgiving at my house.
Oh, very nice.
It was very, very good time.
Oh, here in the Bat Base?
right here in the Bat Base.
Look at you serving as host.
Yes, yes.
I love it.
People were here till 2 in the morning.
All right.
We had a ball.
Sound-
And yourself?
the same, Thanksgiving with family,
Mm-hmm.
back and forth. We went down to Baltimore, saw the family,
Oh, that's cool.
came back here. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you still have any leftovers?
No, we don't. Well, see, the thing is, because we ate down there,
Oh, so you didn't bring any.
we didn't
leftovers
bring
home.
any leftovers home. I mean, we had a little mini, like Wendy made like a she's the macaroni and cheese.
Is that her?
Right,
Yeah.
she's the designated macaroni and cheese
Mhm.
maker. So she
Mhm.
made one pan for her family, one pan for my family,
Mhm.
and then we had a miniature pan here in
Okay.
Philadelphia. So
Okay.
we had that. You know, of course, she made a pound cake or three again. So
Did Camille bake?
she did not.
Oh,
She did not. Nothing for Thanksgiving. I'm sure she'll be baking for Christmas.
for Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas.
Now I have to get my order in.
I was just about to say the orders are trickling in. So
No, I got to get ahead of the curve.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
for
yeah.
her 10,000-pound chocolate cake.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was good. Thanks. You know,
That's good.
a lot of holidays.
Well, we hope every one of you out there in the chat watching as we are streaming live to Facebook and YouTube had a very happy Thanksgiving. and
Absolutely.
beginning of your holiday season, as it
Absolutely.
were. Shout out to Farrell Blackwell, Miss Makiba, Deborah Battle, Aaron Fry, Robert Monroe Jr. Farrell Blackwell said he had sushi for
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
very nice.
That is very nice.
Very nice.
We didn't have turkey here. We had Cornish hens.
How do you like Cornish hens?
I mean, it's chicken. I liked it. It was good. Actually turned out pretty decent.
Yeah, I can never get over the hump of Cornish hens because they're like little chickens.
Mm-hmm.
So I can never really, I've never really embraced the Cornish hen.
I mean, you can eat like a whole Cornish hen. What I like about it is that a Cornish hen, I think maybe because they're young, like
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of chicken breasts because I feel like the white meat is dry.
Right.
But on a Cornish
if it is
hen-
not cooked correctly.
Okay. But a Cornish hen, it don't matter. It's like it's juicy.
Right, the whole
throughout.
thing is juicy. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So I enjoyed it.
Perhaps I will revisit Cornish.
You should
hens.
revisit the Cornish hen.
revisit the Cornish hen.
Yes.
Okay, all right, excellent.
All right. Damon,
Oh, my brother.
your brother says Cornish hens freak me out like veal does.
Yeah.
I think it's
Well,
the whole baby aspect.
I
of
think
it,
I just
guess.
learned right now. I don't think I knew that a Cornish hen was a young chicken. I thought it was a type of
a type
bird.
of hen.
Right, or right, the hen of a type of bird. Like
Oh.
I assumed there was a Cornish rooster
Oh.
until this exact second. Like I didn't know that, but
Oh.
now it because veal is just
I know.
just ethically
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Mm.
Like anytime you have to talk about humanely killing the baby cow
Mm-hmm.
as an argument for it,
Mhm.
it's like, you know what? I'll pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
I know
pass.
it's not the same thing, but I get that same type of vibe with lamb chops because I like lamb chops, but
Mm.
animation has taught me that lambs are adorable.
Lambs are
Cute
adorable.
and cuddly.
They're cute and cuddly. I didn't eat lamb growing up, so I've never
we
been a
didn't
lamb
lamb chops were
person.
definitely a delicacy.
Yeah,
But it was a delicacy my mom would serve like maybe once every 3 or 4 months,
sure.
and I enjoyed them. And
Yeah,
I probably haven't had lamb chops in it probably a good 10, 20 years.
yeah. I'm kind of fascinated by what you just said though about like you resist lamb because of how it looks,
Yeah.
because that's kind of interesting to me, sort of social mores of what is and is not acceptable to eat.
Well, yeah.
Like we don't in certain parts of the West we would never eat a dog,
right.
or we wouldn't eat a horse. And I said
Mhm.
certain part because in France it used to be a delicacy, and I think there are parts that it's still a delicacy that you
not
would
be
eat
surprised.
horse, but there's really no reason to eat a cow or eat a pig
Mm-hmm.
and not eat eat a lamb. In fact, a pig is actually smarter
I know.
than all those other animals.
I know.
And people have no problem eating pork.
I know.
So
I think honestly, I think that's part of the reason why the book Animal Farm was created, because that was George Orwell.
right, and he was celebrating the
I think-
intelligence of pigs.
I think he was commissioned.
He was commissioned, right.
He was commissioned by the American Beef Association
Okay,
to put pigs in a bad light
right.
so that we would be fine
Yes,
with eating pork.
Right. Not only fine with it, but I think the implication was if we don't eat the pigs,
This is what
they
will
might
happen.
rise up.
Exactly.
Because you remember, it's a little vague at the beginning of Animal Farm how they take over the farm. Like they just sort of hand wave it. Hey, the animals are now in charge of the farm. Now we're going to get to the story.
Yeah.
And it's only like years. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. What all actually went down?
And then you see what went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam has a storybook called I forget the name of it. It's like Click Clack Moo, and it's about a farm where some cows get hold of a typewriter and they write to the farmer and they're telling the farmer what they want. Like, it's cold in the barn, so we should have blankets, and it escalates from there. Like the chickens get in on it, and then the end of the book, the ducks have the typewriter, and the ducks are like, it's like click clack quack, click clack quack. We want a diving board for our pond. But as someone who has read Animal Farm, it is kind of, there's this ominous undertone to me too. It was like these animals out in the farm. Like there's a part where the cows are talking to each other and the other farm animals are trying to listen, but they don't speak cow. So they don't know what the cows are saying. And like, I'm reading it to Adam, and I'm like, this feels, I don't know how comfortable I am with this story.
Yeah.
So
it actually sounds like The Far Side, the children's book.
Right.
That's what it sounds like.
Right. And it's just like this, this is economic blackmail. Like they're like, we're not going to give you milk. And then, like I said, the chickens get in on it. And the chickens are like, we're not going to lay eggs until you do this. And this is back and forth.
But that is surprisingly what happens in Animal Farm.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, I mean, it's all connected.
And you never know where we're going on this show.
It's all freaking connected.
But I'm glad you enjoyed your Cornish hens.
I did.
I think you should indulge in some lamb.
Maybe.
If you like the lamb.
Maybe.
If you eat some veal, you probably shouldn't share that with people.
Okay. All right. Well, we see where lambs are on the hierarchy. Go ahead and eat some lamb.
Go ahead and eat some lamb.
As a matter of fact, I got some lamb here.
Right.
Lamb chop right here, man.
Right. It's a commodity.
Funny thing, you mentioned lamb. I happen to have. Anyway.
You ever see the vans selling meat in the summer? Like selling like steaks and stuff.
No, I've never seen like at
they
a
like
truck?
yeah, like they like kind of drive through parking lots selling meat.
I've never seen that.
Okay, well, good, because don't buy that meat.
No, I wouldn't.
Don't buy meat off a truck.
I'm not buying
just
meat
random
off
meat.
A truck.
Just random meat.
I mean, quite as kept, I'm a little suspect of the trucks that sell the produce, but you'll go. I can see that you can get produce. You can re-up it every day.
Right.
But I'm not
just a dude with a freezer selling meat.
Some trucker with calls himself a butcher. No,
trucker with a butcher. Okay, all right, fair enough.
That's like Hustle Man come up.
Hey, as long as we're on the same page.
You want some crab legs?
You want some crab legs?
Get the hell out of here. Anyway,
yes. Moving on.
Yes, moving on. You're right. You never know where we're going. You absolutely never. Like, how the hell did we get here?
Well, you start talking about Cornish hens.
Who knew Cornish hens were going to take
Cornish hens the
slaughter of the silence of the lambs. Anyway, we got listener mail.
Listener mail.
All right. We got a couple of emails from Sharon Eldridge.
Hey, Sharon.
Hi. Hey, y'all. I was listening to the I Am Not Your Negro episode today.
Okay.
And recorded this in response to the pre-review 6 Degrees segment. I did a voice recording. I did a voice recording that I was going to then type, but then also clearly thought I was doing a voice to text because you'll hear me speaking some punctuation in there. Sorry about that. Anyway. I love Sharon. Anyway, thought I would just send you the voice recording because I actually think that works better than an email in this case.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Please do not feel obligated to read this on air. But I just had to share these thoughts with you.
Okay. All right.
Also, I love this episode. And I too saw I Am Not Your Negro in theaters in 2016 and had a lot of feels as well. James Baldwin understood this country better than it understands itself.
Okay.
All right. That's thank you. And she did send us a voice recording. I tried to get it up to the StreamYard, but it was having a hard time. So
okay.
I will edit it in.
Okay.
To the show.
All right.
So people can check it out. All right.
Did you listen to it though?
She shares her thoughts.
Okay.
Basically,
right.
she's just sharing.
All right. Well, thank you, Sharon.
Yeah.
And certainly the multimedia aspect of the mail is something we don't get that often. So thank you for that.
Right. And her thoughts were primarily about the 6 degrees of separation department when we went from D'Urville Martin to Meryl Streep.
Okay. All right.
And this part will come in after we play her recording because Sharon sent us a PS.
Okay. Okay. A postscript.
A postscript to the recording. Just a follow-up to my recording. Y'all took me back to my younger days when I actually cared and knew about all kinds of white people films.
Okay. You know, there are some films with white people that are quite good.
There are more than a few. More than a few. She actually sent us a third postscript.
A postscript.
Which
a PPS.
Which just said Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you.
So that was nice.
Hope you had a happy one as well. Lynn had Cornish hens.
We have an email from Jason Buckner.
Hey, Jason.
Hello
yourself.
I've been a listener of the podcast for several years.
Oh, very nice.
I think I found the pod while doing some personal research about Debbie Allen, which led to one thing, which led to another podcast, which led to the Michelle Mission as a suggested pod on my feed.
Okay, very nice.
6 degrees of Michelle Mission right there.
I was about to say, and Debbie Allen.
I really appreciate your perspective and enjoy the guests you have on the show sometimes for new insights and really good stories, including frequent guest and friend of mine, Dorian Missick.
Hey!
That's nice. As a pop culture vulture and also as a producer, I have some unique insights and stories as well, and would love to be a guest on your pod and discuss the film Dancing in September.
Dog.
Written and directed by Reggie Bythewood.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. It is so fun. Boy, that is funny that he would ask about that. You said Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Jason, just since you actually, this is quite timely. We have, I'm not going to announce it early, but we are going to go off the path a little bit. Mm-hmm. And we'll be addressing a television movie.
Yes.
Or a television miniseries. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about that. And then earlier today, someone had posted that clip from Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned, like that wonderful scene mm-hmm. with Isaiah Washington mm-hmm. and Lawrence Fishburne. And I was thinking, okay, well, we already said what we're going to do, what you and I said we were going to do, but we got to do Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned, which was an HBO film.
Right.
Just like Dancing in September,
mm-hmm.
which then had me think about, like, there's all of these really rich texts mm-hmm. that would be great for us to do, but they weren't released in theaters.
Right.
So we got to figure out a space for them.
It looks like, not really showing you how the sausage is made, but based on some recent conversations between us, we're figuring out a way to make this thing happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And
so,
Dancing in September is 100% on that list. And yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Any friend of Dorian's is a friend of ours.
Yes. So
unless it's a friend of Dorian's who's our enemy. I feel like you should leave that space. Like I don't want it. Like I don't know who Dorian knows.
No, we don't.
So Dorian might know somebody that's not a friend of ours.
But we do know someone.
Oh right. Well, right. So any
who I think would be considered an enemy.
Any friend of Dorian's is a friend of ours.
At least an enemy of mine.
Unless, of course, they're not.
Right.
But yes,
but
absolutely.
it's not Jason.
But not Jason. Thank you.
Who then says thank you for your great work, and Jason, thank you, and we will definitely be in touch with
absolutely,
you.
Absolutely. And if you see Dorian before we do, tell him we said hey.
And happy Thanksgiving.
And happy Thanksgiving. Lynn had Cornish hens.
We got an email from Maurice Poplar.
Hey, hey, Maurice.
Hey, Mo. Hello, missionaries. Hello, missionaries.
Yeah.
Loved y'all review. I am not your Negro. One note to it all. James Baldwin came back to America in 1957 and jumped into the civil rights movement with 2 feet. Paul Robeson attempted to return to the U.S. in 1960, and it took him 3 years to be allowed in. Baldwin really stirred up some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In other news, 'tis the season, and I'm tempted to resurrect the quintessential Black Christmas playlist conversation, but why disrupt the show like that?
Right. Right. Hey,
Mo.
Look. It is tradition in my house. I am the Christmas song fascist.
Mm-hmm.
Like we cannot do Christmas anything until after we eat Thanksgiving dinner. But I got gravy on my shirt and I'm turning on the Temptations.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm deep into the Christmas music now.
Did you fire up the Task Rabbit to get somebody to put your lights up?
Yeah. No,
I
did not.
No,
not yet.
Yeah,
not yet.
The weekend's young.
Yeah. So,
all right.
But yeah, we can always talk about Christmas. Well, we can't always talk about Christmas music, but we can talk about Christmas music now because it's after Thanksgiving.
We can talk about Christmas music right now, but not today.
Not today.
Even though we could, because actually, just a little bit of trivia that might not come up. Oh, I forgot where it was. I think it's where's that country? There's a country that actually plays the Trading Places every Christmas Eve. And
a country,
or a station, a station.
A station,
a station in, but it's like it's an overseas country. It's not like
not
like a city in America.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's yeah, they play. All right, now I brought it up. I gotta find it.
I mean, look, we'll get into it in the view. You and I kind of joked about it, but I think this is 100% a Christmas movie.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's Christmas throughout the thing.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, but I think it actually is almost a Christmas themed movie.
Oh, really?
Like this is and we'll talk about it. Like this really felt like a Christmas movie as I was watching it, like a cold, dark Christmas movie.
Well, yeah,
with 2 attempted suicide attempts and implied gorilla rape.
Well, I guess technically it's implied. I have a funny feeling.
You don't even think it's implied.
I don't think it's implied. I don't think it's implied.
His eyes were quite dead and soulless in the second scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They were soulless. All right. Janine in the chat has actually said, I definitely fired up my Christmas movie. My Christmas music.
Oh, yeah.
Already.
Oh, yeah.
And Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings Christmas album is fire.
Look, ain't no chimneys in the projects. That's from Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings Christmas album.
I've never heard that. It's
a great album and it's a great
them.
song. Yeah.
I've never heard
ain't no chimneys in the project. In the projects.
Okay. All right.
We have time to talk about Christmas music later on.
There you go.
In the month.
Within the month. So get your playlist together.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, because they are going in on playlists.
I know they are.
Definitely. All right. It is time, Vincent.
It is time
for us to play
that new
favorite
all right
game
All
that is
right.
sweeping the nation.
Sweeping the nation.
Yes, taking the nation by storm.
Yes.
It's you're a fan of it, ladies and gentlemen, and so are we. We're going to play 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin. All right.
You ready, Vincent?
I'm look, I'm gonna try not to pull up his IMDb.
Okay.
All right, because I kind of add every week to. All right, so go ahead. Who we got?
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
6 moves or less. Get from D'Urville Martin to who utilizing films.
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis. 6 Degrees of Separation to Viola Davis. Okay.
Next week, I'm definitely going to have music.
All right. So
6 Degrees of D'Urville
Martin
to Viola
Davis. See, and this is like I try to do this honestly and not cheat, because I was tempted to lay out a couple of players to connect them to, and if I had done this, I could have gone to Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah.
Because the thing about Viola Davis, she's in The Help. She's in Fences. What other movie is she? And I know she's been in.
What other movie?
Yes. What other movie is Viola Davis in?
Well, unfortunately, she's in Green Lantern.
Right. See, I didn't see Green Lantern.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
She's in.
Oh, she's in Suicide Squad.
She's in Suicide Squad.
Both of them. No. Yeah, she's in both of them, right?
I think she is. I think she's in the first one.
I'm pretty sure she's in the first.
I mean,
one.
I know she's in the most recent. I know that. I'm trying to think of what's the movie Widows.
Yeah, see, I didn't see Widows.
Oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, I remember
girl,
you talking
Cynthia
about it when it was
Erivo.
out. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, she spent so much time on TV. I know she's in other movies. I can't think of what movie. Janine is letting us know from the chat that yes, she is in both Suicide Squads. Wow, I'm trying to. Okay, I'm trying to get to Viola Davis as well. All right, Vince, we can't last.
I know.
I guess I should have mapped out a way before, but
All right, just give me 1 second.
D'Urville Martin.
I'm going to pull up his iron. I was trying not to do that, but I will pull up D'Urville Martin's IMDb.
D'Urville Martin was.
The funny thing is, in my searches, if I put in DU, it comes up immediately.
Oh, really?
Right.
Oh, D'Urville Martin was in Three the Hard Way with Jim Brown, who was in I'm Going to Get You Sucker. D'Urville Martin was in Three the Hard Way with Jim Brown, who was in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker with.
Jim Brown was not in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, was he?
I thought he was the third one because it's Isaac Hayes.
It's Isaac Hayes.
Bernie Casey.
Is that Jim Brown?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was.
It's Bernie Casey, Isaac. No, I think you're right. He is in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker with Jim Brown.
Right. Who's in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker with Jim Brown. So can you get to there from either Keenan or I can't think of, because actually I was oh wow,
because the other thing I was maybe trying to get to American Gangster.
Oh, to get to Denzel.
Yeah, and in American Gangster is pretty target rich.
Yeah, but like,
and it's like random, like T.I. is in there. Like Like
where you
T.I.
should go?
is good.
We probably should try and go through Ruby D.
Ruby D.
Who plays Denzel's mother in American Gangster?
It's Ruby D.
Right. So I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think of 70s to get you into the 90s.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The bad thing is I was trying to get to Spike Lee.
You got to get closer to that mic.
I was trying to get to Spike Lee before with my man, and I just forgot his name, who plays Denzel's father in Mo Better Blues. It's funny you went to Denzel's parents in one of these movies because that's a good path too.
Your brother is suggesting Glenn Turman as a possible connector.
Yeah. I don't know if I can in enough time.
Yeah, I think man, all right. Wow, we both failing.
Yeah.
We can't linger on this too long.
No, we can't.
So we failed.
I think we did. I think Viola Davis
may have stumped us.
Viola Davis has stumped us.
That's not fun. That's not. I feel bad. One, I feel bad because I should have already had the answer, but I came up with this like late.
Who are the old white women in The Help?
Okay, let me bring up the Help, and
Because there's got to be older white actresses in The Help.
no, Allison Janney.
I don't know who that. Yeah,
You-
well, she's
what-
not old.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I mean the only older person in there really is Sissy Spacek.
Sissy Spacek is in The Help.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get from Jane Fonda to Sissy Spacek.
No, not that I can think of. Sissy Spacek, actually, she's very circumspect about the. You know who else is in The Help though? Cecily Tyson.
Cecily Tyson is in
There's got to be a connector.
The Help. Oh, Paul Winfield is not in anything that can get us to Derville Martin, because he's in Sounder with Cicely Tyson.
Oh, that's true. All right, Paul Winfield. Let's bring up his.
And another one, and I couldn't get to Richard Pryor from Derville Martin, which I know is just ridiculous.
Oh, you could get to Richard Pryor from Derville Martin.
Get
You
to
got to go
Richard-
to Fred Williamson.
Oh,
and then you go to.
Here we go. Boom. Here we go. Work with me. Derville Martin is in the final come down with Billy D. Williams.
Okay, well,
That's one.
There you go.
Billy D. Williams is in, take your pick. Lady Sings the Blues or Bingo Long with Richard Pryor.
Right.
Richard Pryor,
Mm-hmm.
because we're trying to get to Viola Davis.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Boom. There you go. You're there.
Richard Pryor is in
Bustin' Loose
Bustin' Loose
with Cecily Tyson.
with Cecily Tyson.
Who's
Cecily
in the-
Tyson is in The Help with Viola Davis.
Whew. 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 Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You should cut out some of that when you edit it, so it seems like we were like bam, bam, bam.
Yes. Only you watching this live will know exactly how much of an hour passed.
Right. The final come down is one that I've been keeping in my pocket since you said it.
Right. Because so many people.
Because Billy D. Williams opens up
Mhm.
a lot of different, like I'm looking for key players.
Yeah. There you go. All right. We're going to have to keep Billy D. Williams on tuck.
Right. Well, Billy D. Williams gets me to Richard Pryor.
No, but
And then
like
Richard
you said,
Pryor.
Billy D. Williams gets you to.
Oh, hell. If you use Bingo Long,
You get
that-
a bunch of James Earl
that's
Jones.
James Earl Jones,
Richard.
Richard Pryor.
Oh, I just drew a blank on the guy.
Mabel King, who I think
That's
is
right.
surprisingly useful.
That's right. Yeah. There's somebody else. in there.
I
There's
feel
a
like
bunch of-
Frank Ajay is in there, which gets you to 80s movies.
a bunch of people are in there.
Yeah. Bingo Long, getting to Bingo Long is a good. Okay.
All right.
So next week it's gonna run smoother.
we gotta.
Because I'm just adding to my
Dervell.
my Dervell box.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. All right. Oh, I think the reason why Farrell Blackwell says that was brilliant. Giving us all getting mad applause from everyone. And in regards to Glenn Turman, Ms. Makiba is pointing out that T.I. is in Takers with Glenn Turman.
Oh, see, I haven't seen Takers, but I like T.I. because T.I. is a wild card. Just like that.
Right.
Like T.I. is kind of a wild card.
That's true. That's true. And Toya Haynes says she loves how Vincent has blocked out that Viola Davis was in Medea Goes to Jail.
Oh my gosh.
That's right. She sure
was. She sure wasn't with Medea Goes to Jail.
Because we both
because we actually
why the hell?
Why is Viola Davis in? Oh, Toya, that's not nice. You didn't have to call me out because I 100% forgot about that.
And trust me, Viola Davis is happy that we forgot about it.
Yeah, here's the thing though. Once you bring Medea into it,
Oh, that unlocks.
Because Cecily Tyson is in at least 2 Medea movies.
I think she's in every.
So you get to Cecily Tyson. Is she in Medea? She's not in Medea Goes to Jail.
I don't remember. I don't think she's in.
Yeah, I don't think she's in that. But yeah.
She's in a lot of them. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but Tyler Perry is a useful tool to have in that toolbox.
Well, that's our blaxploitation to blaxploitation.
Right. The thing is, you got to get from the 70s to current time. Like when you like I see how you do. Like you never say get to like Thomas Rosella.
No, no, you don't have to cross the street.
Right.
We want you to at least do one full move.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, once you open that up, you can get to like Kiki Palmer.
Yeah, you get to everybody. Probably get to Issa Rae. I don't know why that name came with.
I mean,
all right.
Okay.
All right.
Because you know I'm doing Issa Rae, Lakeith Stanfield.
All right. All right. Let's not be too full of ourselves and act like we didn't take a half an hour.
This is how you crash and burn right here.
You listening to the podcast, you have no idea what we're referring to, but believe me, editing is a beautiful thing.
Yes,
anyway,
it is. Yes, it is.
That is what we have for the beginning of the show. But there was something that I wanted to say to everyone that I thought was pretty cool. Oh, this is what it is. In regards to us watching Trading Places and Trading Places being about somebody, having an opportunity, even though it's weird how he gets the opportunity to maximize his full potential.
Yes.
Right. And be something totally far left of where he began in the film.
Yes.
As we speak about Eddie Murphy's character, Billy Ray Valentine. Watching this movie made me think of, and I think about this often, one of the things that you take so many things from your parents.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I take from my mom is that my mom, when she would meet someone new, regardless of where she met them, whether or not they came into her house or whether or not she was in the doctor's office just sitting talking to somebody, and especially if they were a younger person, which as my mom got up in age, everybody was younger.
Sure.
She would spark up a conversation with them, and she would invariably ask them about what they're doing, as far as like their, what job they had or something like that. And then she would ask them about what they really wanted to do, especially if they were younger, like in the 20s and stuff. And my mom was always big on encouraging people to, if that's really what you want to do, then find your way to doing that.
Okay.
You know,
Excellent.
especially if they weren't doing that. She was always big on encouraging people to do that. And I always thought that that was a beautiful thing. And I try to take it with me in when I engage with people, which is why sometimes I can come off like I'm interviewing people
Mm-hmm.
because I'm honestly just asking. I'm wondering what you're doing, if you're actually doing what you want to do,
Right.
right? So it is in that vein that I am putting it out there, and I hope Vincent doesn't mind me doing this. That if you watching the show mission or someone that is interested in getting into podcasting and wants to, pick our brains about how to do it, please feel free to email us at thebeshowmission@gmail.com.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we ask for people to send us their thoughts and concerns, and we ask for people to give us 5-star rating and reviews because that helps people find the show as well, and all that type of stuff. And we mean that. But I know that there are a ton of people out there that want to get into podcasting. I have absolutely no problem sitting down and talking to somebody, giving them at least a little bit of advice about how to do it. And as we are making our way to 300,
Mm-hmm.
it's a celebration for a podcast to get to 300 episodes.
Yes.
Because it means you've been doing this consistently for a while. And, like to think that we've gotten a little good at it.
Well, I think we're better than we were,
I hope so.
which is what I always. Well, I think we're better than we were.
Yeah.
When was were? Well, last episode.
So we offering, the benefit of whatever knowledge we have. So email us if you are interested in getting the podcast. Hit us up on all the social media, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube @MeShowMission. This will get our social media director very upset because she's like, Len, you're asking for all these people to tweet at us, and she'll have to, call them all together and send them our way. But thank you for doing what you do.
And that's what you get for reminding me of Viola Davis was in a Tyler Perry movie.
And you can email us at meshowmission@gmail.com. All right.
All right.
All right. It is time for us to get into our review of Trading Places.
Trading Places.
All right. But first, it's time for trailer talk.
But a very short trailer talk.
Very short
because
trailer
we ate
talk.
up trailer talk time.
We sure
with
did.
Derville Martin.
Yes. Farrell Blackwell is immediately in the chat. I'd love to start a podcast interviewing the actors who played the first Black person to die in a horror movie.
That's not a bad. Someone just posted. Robert Monroe sent me a short about that.
Oh, really?
And I think he posted it in the group.
Oh,
like
yeah,
someone made
I
that short film.
I didn't watch
about
the film, but yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. Something else I've been fascinated by my whole life.
What?
Always want to interview the Black actor who plays the Black person in the white show.
Oh,
like especially like well, I'm trying not to use the T word, but yeah.
Okay, all right.
Like especially during the 80s, remember it was always like one Black kid, and I'm always fascinated by that actor.
Can you think of like any one particular example?
Lark Voorhees on Saved by the Bell.
Uh-huh.
I would love to have a bottle of wine and some wings and sit at a table with Lark Voorhees and pop the bottle and go Saved by the Bell. Go.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
That would definitely be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lark Voorhees. Mm-hmm.
Like she's like the Moby Dick of the people of this sort of genre I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because all of those shows, it was like always one Black person.
You say
like,
that, but now I'm actually drawing a blank on the shows outside of Saved by the Bell where there was the one Black person, because there was always just white people.
Right. I think you kind of blank it out.
Because Seinfeld was all white people.
No. Right. Seinfeld was always white people, but
I mean that was 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, movies too, like all of it. Like,
oh well, yeah.
Yeah, just
movies.
all of it. Like I'm just always curious. Like I have no interest whatsoever in watching the Sex and the City revamp.
Oh, really?
But I'm so fascinated by how they're going to justify Nicole Ari Parker hanging out with these women.
And they're just making her like, time has passed, so they picked up another girlfriend.
Yeah, but why would she hook up with them? Like, what's going on in Nicole Ari Parker's life that this is now her? I mean, I don't know. I just saw the commercial, so I don't know what her relationship is.
Yeah.
But if the implication is she has replaced Kim Cattrall,
yes,
as the fourth,
yes.
Like, how is this your new crew?
I mean, if it was like the following season, I'd hear you, but they're not. They're playing it like time has passed. So you've picked up a friend.
Yeah, but I'm just curious.
And people get added to crews.
No. Added to crews, but it's like it's the 3 white women and you the black woman. Like, how is your crew?
I mean, I can see that happen. I mean, that really
I'm just curious how it happens.
So,
like, unless you live in Arizona or something, like it just ain't no other black people.
I mean, but she's not saying that she doesn't have a black crew that she.
Well, that's now we're here now.
So
the
you gotta watch the movie,
right?
So
like,
so are you gonna watch it?
You know what? I might watch like the first couple of episodes. So I'm so curious. Like, I was always so curious about Lisa Turtle on Saved by the Bell. Like, how is this your crew?
You knew her name. I didn't know.
Yeah,
because I've never watched an episode.
I was fascinated by her character because it was like, and it would be like other black people in the background, but like this was your crew.
I mean, but that happens.
I mean, I'm just curious about it. Like on Stranger Things, I think they do a good job. Like they're just nerds.
Okay, but there is the one black guy.
But see but that's what I'm saying. That made sense to me. Like, okay, well, they're just nerds and the nerds are just together and then they get into these adventures.
Okay.
But like Saved by the Bell, like she was super popular and they were jocks and like, it's not like I got to sit at the table where ain't nobody else sitting at the table because I'm an outcast. Like I said, Stranger Things works for me. And even on Stranger Things, his little sister, Erica, who's my spirit animal, because you can't spell America without Erica. Like she got a crew of little sisters. So I'm just curious, like how that happens.
Miss McKeeba says, talking about Malcolm Barrett as Rufus on Timeless. Timeless.
Yeah, but it did. Yeah. Oh wait, I didn't watch Time. I'm thinking about Sliders.
Yeah, Timeless is that show with the I think the black band.
No, that's Time Wasters.
Oh,
Timeless was I think I never watched Timeless, but I think it was kind of like Sliders.
Oh,
no, Sliders was different dimensions. I think Timeless they were in a time machine.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember Timeless.
Yeah, it got pretty good rate. I never watched it, but I remember
good ratings.
Not ratings, good write-ups.
Okay. All right.
I think it was on a couple of seasons.
Was it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Vanessa Williams was on Melrose Place. I think she was introduced like she came in like later seasons.
Right.
And Farrell Blackwell says, wasn't Richard Pryor the only black person in the Superman movie?
Yeah, but even that wasn't he the janitor or something? And they kind of folded, like come to find out he was a genius.
Okay. So that made sense to you?
Because it's organic. Like they went and got like
organic.
It's almost like trading places. Like they went and got him for a purpose.
Okay. All right. We did get a question.
Okay.
In the chat, and I want to attribute this to the correct person asking us because they were going on about Aisha Tyler and Friends and you mean like the pimp in the original 70s Superman movie? They are going in. Oh, you missionaries.
That's real nerd rage right there.
Yeah.
You know that was Dwayne McDuffie's thing.
I know. Someone asked us, and I'm trying to Aaron Fry wanted to know, are we getting tickets to Spider-Man? Is Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yeah, it's so funny. My daughter and I actually had a very serious meeting about that because she wants to go. And you know, like my hustle has been, you go on an off night, and you know it's nobody in there, but you know Spider-Man, she wants to see it immediately.
I don't even know when it comes out.
I think it comes on the 19th. Comes out the 19th.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, we can't really be going to no theater. Like a full theater.
Why not? Shoot.
Don't like what, COVID is actually still a thing, believe it or not.
I know.
All right.
So you're saying she wants to go like opening night.
Right. She's like, I'm fully vaccinated. I'm actually getting my booster this week. Adam's got his first shot, and come on, but I don't know how comfortable I am in a full theater.
I mean, okay.
And I don't know, this isn't like Eternals or Shang-Chi. It's not like it's going to empty out after a week. Like, I think Spider-Man is going to have people in there for a minute.
It's going to have people in there for a minute. But it's opening on the 19th. Isn't the 19th? Is that like a Wednesday or something?
I don't know.
So I mean, so you could maybe
slip in
like in the middle afternoon, because you'll probably be done from school.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, Spider-Man and The Matrix are the two films that I'm trying to figure out how I'm a.
Well, The Matrix. The Matrix, you must just want to see that.
See, here's the thing. Like, I really was I'll just watch that on HBO. But like, speaking of, like, we went and caught a viewing of the Eternals, and I saw the trailer on the big screen, and it was like, oh right, you supposed to see the Matrix in the movies.
Yeah. So you gotta go see that movie, right?
It's like, oh, this ain't Black Widow. Like, Black Widow is I can see, wait for that on Disney Plus, but. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I'll be watching The Matrix at home.
Yeah, well,
I'm watching it, and another reason why I'm watching it, and I'm blaming you, Vincent.
Okay.
Because who knew this was going to turn into a long trailer talk? Recently,
okay,
the last 3 to 4 times I've gone to the theater,
yes,
I can't find pretzel bites.
You shouldn't be in there eating. Like, if you're going to go up in that cesspool of germs, at least keep your mask on.
What, you don't eat when you've been going to the movies?
Oh my God, no.
You don't get your popcorn?
No. I'm barely going in there.
Oh, I can't do that. I kind of have it. And there's no.
Oh my God.
There have been no pretzel bites.
Lynn, if your dumb ass gets sick, I'm going to be so angry at you.
I just got tested like a week ago.
Right, so you'll know very quickly that you're sick.
I'm fine. I don't have it.
Don't be in there eating.
No, I gotta eat my pretzel bites.
Don't.
I gotta eat my pretzel bites. So what I've been doing is bringing in pretzels, but bringing in my own pretzel bites.
Yes, no.
But I've been upset that they have not had.
You should hardly be in the theater. Don't be in there taking your mask.
You are It's not taking it off. You just dip it down to eat the pretzel bites.
But you have to take the mask off.
I dip it down. Yes, I'm eating. I can't believe you're not eating your popcorn. Please.
I will be so angry at you. The rage I will feel.
They're screaming at us that the Spider-Man comes out the 17th.
Oh, the 17th. Okay. Well, all right. Yeah, I don't know how I'm handling it. I honestly don't. Like I said, Camille and I just had a very serious conversation about it yesterday. Like, we really did. Like, if anyone looked in the car window, they thought we were talking about like where she's going to college or something. Like, it was very serious.
The 17th is a Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not talking to you about this. You in there taking your mask out, eating some damn pretzels. Hope you can still taste them.
So you can go sometime that weekend.
Can we start the movie? This is a dead end conversation right here. Talking about.
Well, no. One last thing about Spider-Man.
Okay. Yes.
If you find yourself giving in,
yes,
to your daughter,
yes,
and wanting to watch it,
yes,
and you find yourself going that weekend,
yes,
can I go?
Not if you're gonna be breathing all over people.
If I go with you, I won't eat.
All right, deal.
Okay.
All right.
Because if I go with you, we'll probably go eat afterwards or something like that.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, you wouldn't do that either?
Yeah. Well, we had to eat outside. You think I'm joking? We went for a walk earlier today. Me and Wendy's house. I ate our breakfast sandwich outside. Messing around with you people.
All right, we'll go outside and eat.
We'll sit outside and eat. All
In
right.
the cold.
All right. We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see. Camille would look over at Adam and say, when Daddy says we'll see, he's really saying no.
Yeah, trust me, I already know. I already know the clue.
We'll see if your ice cream. What we'll see.
I knew when I made the request. You said something different, but your eyes said, "That's interesting," and we know what that means.
Can we start the movie?
Let me call Calvin.
We'll see.
It's an interesting request, Len. We'll see. Guess what this motherfucker?
Daddy calls that the soft no. So it happens you have a 16-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
One of them got all kinds of experience.
Right. Right. You can't go without food for 2 hours and 39 minutes. Anyway. Trading Places, a 1983 American comedy directed by John Landis, written by Timothy Harris and Herschel Weingrod, stars Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, Ralph Bellamy, Don Amici, Denholm Elliott, and Jamie Lee Curtis. Tells the story of an upper-class commodities broker and a poor street hustler whose lives cross when they are unwittingly made the subject of an elaborate bet to test how each man will perform when their life circumstances are swapped. This film from 1983, produced on a budget of $15 million, would go on to gross $90 million that year, and is Vincent's selection for this stop, our 279th episode here on the Michelle Mission. Vincent, what say you of Trading Places?
I think first and foremost, when you talk about Trading Places as a film,
Mm-hmm.
and the craft of film,
Mm-hmm.
I was not surprised at all. I was not surprised. I think this film, just as an example of film, when we talk about quality,
Right.
is a masterpiece. And this is something that when you look at the reviews and the history of the reaction to this film, fairly quickly, people acknowledged
Mm-hmm.
how good this film is.
Right.
And today, going in and watching it, having the luxury of watching it for however many times, I really just looked at every aspect of the film
Right.
from that perspective. I love the costumes
Mm-hmm.
in this film. Like I love the costume. I mean, obviously the men all are wearing these immaculate suits and everything, but also like Dan Aykroyd has 3 outfits. Like he has the outfit where he comes out of prison, where he has on like this leather jacket.
Right.
He has the outfit that he makes up out of Jamie Lee Curtis's character's closet.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very much his very provocative leftovers outfit. And scummy, drunk, suicidal Lewis Winthrop Santa Claus has been one of my favorite visuals since this film came out.
Mm-hmm.
The setting, this has a wonderful sense of place. Famously filmed in Philadelphia.
Right.
This is Philadelphia. This is 1983 Philadelphia. It is filmed in the city. As someone who moved to this city 20 years after this film was made,
Mm-hmm.
it still feels like Philly. Like there are so many parts, both outside and inside,
Yeah.
that feel like Philly. Like those row houses in Rittenhouse Square, these clubs,
Mm-hmm.
these kind of crappy apartments. It's just a great sense of place
Mm-hmm.
that John Landis creates
Yes.
in this film. Speaking of John Landis, his direction is masterful.
Mhm.
Like, it's absolutely masterful from scene to scene. It is edited beautifully.
Yeah.
It is seamless as it goes from scene to scene. I had a little, speaking of eating during movies, like at one point I wanted to get up and like grab some chips or something.
Mm-hmm.
It is impossible to find a moment in this film where you say, okay, well, I'll pause it here.
Yeah.
And go get something. Like, the momentum is just ongoing.
Yeah.
The screenplay is razor sharp. I love this script so much. Obviously, Billy Ray Valentine gets a lot of the lines and oh, y'all just a couple of bookies, Karate Man Brews on the inside. But every character really has these great moments, and it's just a wonderful script.
Mm-hmm.
Acting wise from the outside, and I have to say, between the vice principal in The Breakfast Club and Clarence Beak in this, Paul Gleason to me is the quintessential 80s bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, he really does encompass this sort of
like comedic bad guy,
but he really is just this wonderful asshole.
Yes.
Like, just hits it so well.
Mm-hmm.
I've said for years, I think this is a cold movie. Like, I think this is a real cold movie, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But in this cold movie with a whole bunch of cold people, Denholm Elliott as Coleman is really the heart.
Yeah.
Like in a film that, again, I think is real cold and amoral. He's the one character that you sense a bit of humanity.
Yeah.
And I've always said I think he's the secret weapon of Trading Places and kind of the glue that holds it together. And you kind of see the stakes in this film. This is famously Jamie Lee Curtis's foray into quote unquote serious films.
Yeah.
Like, she was in Halloween before this.
She gets out of the genre.
Right. She gets out of the genre. Like, she was really on her way to become
Scream Queen.
A scream queen. I always think of and I just lost her name, Adrian Barbeau. Like, she was well on her way to becoming Adrian Barbeau.
Yes. And
she gets her shot in Trading Places, and she's really good.
Yep.
Like, she's really good. Like she really, there's this intelligence that comes across. There's this savviness that comes across that really elevates this role. There's charm, because she's really charming in this too, that I think elevates her role. Speaking of bad guys, I just mentioned it with Beaks. I love the Duke brothers. I adore the Dukes so much, and you can tell that they have transcended this film. Like they show up, once after this, and then once in spirit after this, but they are beautiful as villains.
Yep.
And Ralph Bellamy and Don Amici, at this point, they are veteran actors. But they really do this great job of being terrible people, but there's a certain charm to them.
Yeah. Yep.
Like they really do have that old school Hollywood charm to them, where until there's a moment where it's like a slap in the face where you go, oh, right, these are terrible people.
These are terrible human beings, right?
I love the Dukes. I love them so much. I really wish they had spun off into their own movie, frankly. Like when they show up in Coming to America and they're homeless on the street until Akeem gives them the wad of money.
Yeah.
I wanted a movie leading up to that, But then I wanted a movie after that to see how they get to the point where then they've rebuilt themselves, and you get that quick cameo in Coming to America, where their grandson is now running the business.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd, this is my favorite Dan Aykroyd performance, full stop. I like Ghostbusters. I like the Blues Brothers. Hell, I like Dr. Detroit.
Okay.
I don't think Dan Aykroyd was ever as good as he is in this. I think his performance is brilliant, and I think for the fireworks you get with Billy Ray Valentine, I think there is a subtlety to his physical performance, like before things go off the rails, and he's a rich guy.
Yeah,
but there's a hint of mockery in the way he plays it.
Oh yeah.
I love Dan Aykroyd. And then when Dan Aykroyd kind of loses it, like I said, Dan Aykroyd on Skid Row is amazing. Dan Aykroyd sneaking in the Santa Claus outfit is amazing.
And stuffing salmon down his
it is
tunic.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah. And Eddie Murphy. What can you say about Eddie Murphy in Trading Places? I think I mentioned it last week. I think this is the promise fulfilled. Like 48 Hours introduced the world to Eddie Murphy. And then this is the film where he fulfilled the promise. This is not my favorite Eddie Murphy movie. I am, the aforementioned Coming to America is my favorite Eddie Murphy movie. Arguably, this isn't my favorite Eddie Murphy performance.
Okay.
I think, I'm a Bowfinger guy.
Yeah.
I think he does really, really amazing work in Bowfinger. But I think this is pure.
Well,
like
it makes sense.
Like if I had to explain to somebody why Eddie Murphy is a big deal, I would show them Trading Places. So again, top to bottom, left to right, side to side, inside and outside. This is a quality film, and it did not surprise me at all. What did surprise me is how urgent and timeless this film felt watching it this afternoon. I think, again, there's one of the things that I've always kind of wondered, and I figured it out today, like you and I were talking, and people have talked kind of like with this in a movie like Die Hard. Is this a Christmas movie? Because it takes place during the holidays.
Yes.
And I figured out today it is very much a Christmas movie because of when it takes place, but also where it takes place. Because the other thing that I've always kind of tried to figure out is, why was it filmed in Philadelphia? Like, why not New York? But Philadelphia, the way that John Landis presents Philadelphia, it feels like London. Like this feels like London, because the whole film, and this is not, other people have said this, like this isn't my great observation. There is this great Dickensian feel to it. Like Definitely. This feels like, there's a quick reference to A Christmas Carol. It feels like Oliver Twist. Like this feels like something Charles Dickens would have written. And I think the difference between Philadelphia, the way they present Philadelphia, and New York is that the chasm between the haves and the have-nots is huge.
Okay.
Like, I think New York is so cosmopolitan. Obviously, there are very poor people in New York, and there are very rich people in New York. But it's just very everything in New York, because it's New York. But the way John Landis puts together Philadelphia in this film, it really does feel like it is the underclass and it is an overclass. And when these two trade, this is what you get. I love the there's this wonderful trick that the film plays at the very beginning, where they go to Winthrop's house, and we see his morning ritual, and the Coleman comes in and he makes some breakfast, and it's one of these beautiful brownstones down in Rittenhouse Square, which is an area here in Philadelphia, and it's just gorgeous in there. And then he brings him his breakfast, and it's croissants, and it's his paper, and he shaves them, and you think, oh yeah, Winthrop is doing it. Like this dude is doing it. You know, he's got a butler and he's doing, but then they show you where the Dukes live.
Yeah.
And the Dukes have an actual Bruce Wayne type mansion.
Yeah.
And they have a staff.
Right.
And they
seen out of Downton Abbey.
Right. Like these are actual rich people.
Mm-hmm.
And what you realize is that Winthrop works for them.
Yes. Which puts a whole nother connotation.
On it. And I think one of the things that is noteworthy is that they treat him like the help, even before they make the bet. So there's this wonderful commentary on capitalism. And again, this great gap between people who are actually rich, people who are actually poor, people who are poor but don't actually know they're poor until they know they're poor. Like it's this wonderful moment where the Dukes, after they make the switch, and the Dukes tell Billy Ray that, you know, this is your house and these are your items, you know, these are your, but that's actually not true.
Right.
That belongs to the Dukes. Like all of y'all work for me. So just there, I thought that was great. But then I love the fact that this is not really a moral universe. Like Billy Ray Valentine and Louis Winthrop, they aren't good guys. Like, I love the fact that after the switch, Billy Ray Valentine actually turns into that guy where he says, you know, you got to throw him in jail and this, that, and other. You can't be easy on them and so on and so forth. And when you do get the slap in the face where the Dukes exchange the dollar and they say, okay, well, what are we going to do now? And it's like, oh, we don't want Winthrop back because he's gone off the rails and now he's drunk, crazy, suicidal Santa Claus. And then Mortimer says, well, do you want to let Billy Ray keep running the company? Because he's really good at his job. And then Mortimer says, you think I'd let a nigger run our family business? And it's that slap where you realize, oh, right, these aren't charming old rascally men. These men are actually monsters.
Yeah.
But when you have the turnaround and you get the insider trading bit at the end, which there's been a surprising amount of scholarship about, like people talking about how this scheme actually worked. My dumb ass just watched the movie and said, ooh, they won and they lost. But apparently people have really studied this.
Well, they want to make sure, like, does it make sense? Like, did the math of it make sense?
Sure. Apparently
it did.
Apparently the maths.
Right.
I just never thought about it. But when you think about it, Billy Ray Valentine and Winthrop did what the Dukes were trying to do. They actually engaged in insider trading.
Yes.
And yeah, they bankrupt the Dukes. But then, as they say in the bet was, can we make y'all broke, but also make ourselves rich? So I love how there isn't this false morality to it. It is just this kind of examination of this system. And you have people who are good at it.
Yeah.
And people who aren't as good at it. So that there's some unfortunate homophobic language.
Yeah, there's certainly some parts of the film that don't age well.
I don't know how much Jamie Lee Curtis needs to take her shirt off twice.
And we'll talk about that.
Again, there's the implied gorilla rape.
You say implied.
I do say implied.
I say impaled.
There are some people who feel some way about Dan Aykroyd's moment in blackface.
Yes.
But I was again impressed by how well the film aged overall, especially with these themes as we live here in 2021 and we have people who are billionaires and we're about to have to come up with a new name for them, I think, because I think they're about to run out of billions and they flying to the moon and flying in space and stuff. And here in Philadelphia, appropriately enough, it is, as we say, robin season because it's cold outside and wet and people are hungry and it's real crazy. So that just as a film, I think it remains a masterpiece. But I was also impressed by how it serves as commentary on this thing called America.
I'm going to push back on just a couple of things that you said before I get into my thoughts about the movie.
Okay.
And one is not really a pushback, more just a interesting observation
Mhm.
in regards to Dan Aykroyd in the blackface.
Yes.
And you know, you can feel uncomfortable about it. I think it doesn't play very well now at all. But I think it's interesting in learning more about the background of the movie is that this film, and I never knew this before doing the research, that this film was first created as a vehicle for Gene Wilder and Richard
Pryor, of course.
And in thinking about that, first of all, as much as beloved as Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder both were, I can't see either of them in this role. A younger Richard Pryor, maybe, but Richard Pryor in 1983, that it kind of like started being a little bit more saccharine in some of his choices. I don't know if I necessarily saw him in this role. And Gene Wilder, there's never a moment where I can take my eyes off of Gene Wilder and feel like Gene Wilder never comes across as a jerk and in anything that I've ever seen him do. So
oh my God, have you never seen Willy Wonka?
I've seen Willy Wonka, and as much as he does come off as a jerk, that big shock of hair and he always seems like there's a sly grin over his face.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
All right, so I can't see them in this role, but I think it's interesting. I wonder how much of the script was changed once Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy are signed on to the film, because Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor did do a scene where Gene Wilder is in blackface in Silver Street.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if, you know, this is them trying to recreate that moment in this script for Trading Places.
Right.
And if so, that makes it even more icky that they would do this, because all right, we gave you the pass.
Right.
And you gave you the pass, one, because of the time. So people would like, you know, maybe you just didn't bother.
Right. And again, it doesn't age well.
It doesn't age well.
Right.
But now to return to the well is like, yo, get the hell out of here. So that's one observation. The other observation you mentioned about Jamie Lee Curtis and her taking off her clothes twice. And I honestly, you know, I remember the one scene, the first time where she takes off her clothes, because it's almost like it's a funny line.
Right.
She says it,
right.
You know,
right.
It's not the only thing that's free here. You know.
Right. Again, this is a mercenary cast.
Right.
Everybody is trying to get paid.
Right. But I had totally forgotten that she had takes off her top later
and gets in bed with him to keep him warm.
And Jamie Lee Curtis actually mentions, you know, she took this film as an opportunity to break out of the horror genre, to show her chops. But she also mentions in previous interviews how she never felt exploited until she made that move to mainstream.
Right.
Because she had to now, for the first time, take off her top. And when you think of the films that she had done in the horror genre, because of those slasher films, you think of there being a whole bunch of nudity in a lot of those films, in many of them there were. She wasn't the one.
Right.
She never did that until
Trading Places.
And then I think she does then take off her top in a couple of other films going forward. So I thought that was very interesting, because like you said, she pops in this film. You know, she first of all, I was always been a huge fan of her from her horror films, and I was happy to see her in this movie. And I think she is funny. I think she is engaging. I think she is does not shy away from the scenes, because she shares a lot of the screen time with Dan Aykroyd, who by now, like you mentioned, veteran performer and writer on the original Saturday Night Live, Not Ready for Primetime Players, big star because of the Blues Brothers and subsequent films. but she is toe to toe with Dan Aykroyd in this film, in a film which I probably agree with you is his best film. But I do think that is a shame that she walks away from that feeling that way. I champion her because of where she has come and that she is still a name, considering, let's face it, considering the age that Jamie Lee Curtis is now, that she is still a force in Hollywood, still a working, viable actress. I champion her. I'm a big Jamie Lee Curtis fan.
Well, the irony is that she's gotten this second wind because of the Halloween.
Well, true, but you say second win. She actually never lost. She was always riding high. She took a dip because she was making her bones writing books. So she was doing her damn thing. So God bless her. The one pushback I will make mention is you talk about when Eddie Murphy, they make him, they do the switch and they make him the rich guy. You said that he becomes that guy, and I think your implication is that he becomes maybe not as quite like Winthorpe, but a bit on the Winthorpe side.
Yeah, I think there's actually the scene where the Dukes talk about Winthorpe and say, he doesn't have a job. It's cold outside. And he almost parrots what Winthorpe says in their initial meeting.
Yes.
When he says, throw the book at him and you can't be soft on these people. And he says, he had money to buy drugs.
Right. The difference there, though, is that as opposed to when Eddie Murphy, Billy Ray Valentine first meets Winthorpe, is when they bump in the street. And the bump in the street is actually accidental.
Yes.
And Winthorpe accuses Eddie Murphy of trying to steal his briefcase. Billy Ray Valentine, Eddie Murphy's character, is actually trying to hand him back the briefcase.
That's true.
He is being 100% honest in that he does not, mean any malice to Winthorpe. Is he a street hustler trying to get over on the system? Definitely. But is he 100% a bad dude? No. Conversely, when Winthorpe comes into the building as Bad Santa, Winthorpe pulls out a gun.
That's true.
He holds him at gunpoint and then threatens to kill him.
You're right.
And as you say, plants drugs that he got from somewhere there. So for Eddie Murphy to say, no, you can't take a chance, you can't give these people a break. Winthorpe has already ratcheted up, so that actually is a valid take for him to
what? You are right. You were right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I don't blame him at all.
Okay.
Shit. Beat his ass with the book. All right. So that's my pushback. All that being said, you're right. While there are parts of the film that don't age well, this is a knockout of a movie. It is funny. It is timeless. I because I love old movies, a huge Don Amici fan. But even more so, I'm a fan of Ralph Bellamy. And Ralph Bellamy, if you ever watch some of his older movies, he more or less is still playing the same guy. Because while he is definitely amoral in this movie, you get the sense that Don Amici is really the one. Is he's really the dude that's like really turning the screws on this, right? And Ralph Bellamy is just the brother that kind of goes along because my brother is what we do. It's what we do for kicks. So this is how he wears his privilege. And if you ever watch old movies with Ralph Bellamy, he pretty much plays the same kind of character. Always kind of rich, slightly dopey, a little all shucks, but doesn't really mean but so much harm. I just can't help it that I am in those times tall, good looking, and just a little right. So I really enjoyed Ralph Bellamy, in this film. Denholm Elliott, seen him in everything, huge fan in almost everything that he does. remind me because I want to make sure I'm correct. Isn't he in the Raiders movies as well? Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think he plays.
He is.
He plays.
He does it. He is indeed.
He's like the
Yeah.
head guy at the school.
I was about to say yes.
and then gets on.
He's head of the department. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Adventure. So loved him in those movies.
He's
as well.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I always enjoy him. The movie, like you said, the opening montage of this film, which like you're right, it does show the have and have-nots of Philly. I would also argue that it also shows a little bit of that middle class as well, but because you'll see the Italian market, you know, you'll see Rittenhouse Square, but you also see the middle class. You also see some lower end areas of Philadelphia, all of them side by side, jumping in and out. Everybody from all economic strata climbing into the subway train, waiting for the L. I think this opening montage, much like, you know, people herald the Rocky film, this is a timestamp for Philadelphia.
Yeah. And I actually think it ages better than the Rocky film.
I think it ages so much better because that is so ethnic in one place. And this, it's all over Philadelphia. And it showcases Philadelphia beautifully. And it showcases all of the colors of Philadelphia because, you know, while Eddie Murphy is the lone black star in the film, this film is peppered with color. All throughout.
Oh yeah.
So you see the full flavor of Philadelphia on display in this film. The comedy is top notch. The script it crackles. It leaves room for Eddie Murphy to be Eddie Murphy, which makes sense because, like you said, this is his second film, so he is still very pure. He's still learning how to really be a character. So in some ways, this is his character from 48 Hours, but just in a true comedy.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have to play more of the serious or action roles.
Right.
And you can see Eddie like really leaning into it and having a good time with it. And there is not a dull moment. You're right. There's not a pause moment on the film. The film gives you, it does a good job because Dan Aykroyd famously, because he was part of a troupe on Saturday Night Live, and then because he becomes more or less the straight man to John Belushi,
right,
in a lot of his things,
right,
and even in Ghostbusters, where he's one of four, he pretty much is kind of like you know, that other guy in a lot of things.
Yes,
you know,
that's 100% correct.
But this is a film, so and with Eddie Murphy being on the rise, popping right out of 48 Hours. And at this point, he's still kind of going back and forth with Saturday Night Live. So he is still omnipresent in people's faces every week. You run the risk of him stealing the movie from Dan Aykroyd. But this film, and to his credit, Dan Aykroyd's talent, you get invested in Dan Aykroyd. He gets funny moments. He gets the pathos. Some might argue he also gets the girl in the film as well. But I mean, that's what's going to happen. But he holds his own with Eddie.
Oh yeah.
In this
film.
Yeah. And I think that's another reason why this is probably his best performance, because he gives as much as he takes. And in giving, I think in learning how to operate with John Belushi, he knows how to operate with Eddie Murphy. And it would have been interesting to see them maybe do another movie together.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I think it's interesting when you talk about his relationship with a John Belushi, with, you know, a Chevy Chase, with the Bill Murray, basically.
Oh, that's right, because he was in the Chevy Chase.
Yeah, basically that cohort from Saturday Night Live. And I think you're right, where he is always almost the straight man to them. For a movie called Trading Places, I mean, actually that makes sense, Trading Places. There's a fair amount of time that the two of them aren't together.
Yeah.
So that this is one of the few films, and I talk about it. I know I'm there aren't many of us on this island, but that's why I'm a fan of Dr. Detroit.
Okay.
Because you get to see Dan Aykroyd by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like I said, there's a subtlety to his performance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do love that first 20 minutes or so where he's the rich guy.
Yeah.
But he's playing this character of the
he's playing the rich guy.
He's playing the rich guy.
Yeah.
And it's something that every time you see it, it rewards you because you just pay more and more attention to it. Something I did want to clarify when I said it's the haves and the have-nots, and like you said, they do show the middle class. But much like I said, with that wonderful sleight of hand that the beginning of the film shows, I think what the film is arguing is that there is no middle class. It really is the haves.
Yeah.
Well, how do I know if I'm a have? Well, or how do I know I'm a have not? Well, are you a have? No. Well, congratulations, you're a have not.
Right.
And it's kind of like people talk about now when we talk about these issues. And I think I may have said, because I always say it, like, I'm way closer to being poor than I am to being rich. So like I would never, ever kind of align myself with rich guys.
Right.
And I think this film made that argument in 1983. Again, Winthorpe lives in the fly brownstone. Winthorpe has Coleman bringing him croissants, which in 1983, I think you had to actually go to France to get a croissant. Like, you couldn't go to Costco and get a croissant.
Yeah.
And he's running the brokerage house. He's still just another dude that worked for the Duke brothers. That for $1, I will destroy your life.
Yeah, and the other thing is, not only does he work for the Duke brothers, because I have forgotten until watching this film again, you realize he has this brownstone. He has Coleman. But then you learn maybe he doesn't have the brownstone because you learn Coleman actually works for the Dukes.
Right. This is the Duke's house.
Yeah.
This is the Duke's butler.
Yeah. You're like, whoa.
Right.
Because Coleman, because he works for the Dukes, gets in on the gag, more or less.
Yeah, Coleman knows from the very beginning what's happening.
But then once the gig is up, Coleman, is on the side of the Angels. I personally think Coleman got off a little bit too easy.
Well, my pushback, and you just said it, the side of the Angels. What I love about the film, these are not good people. Okay. These are just the people that we like better than the Dukes. Like, these are all, like, everybody.
So that's how Coleman looks at Winthorpe.
Right. Everybody's trying to get paid. And I thought it was significant. They have two moments with Coleman. Like, remember, Coleman makes the crepes.
Yeah.
And they show you just how elaborate this operation is, and how much effort goes into Coleman making the crepes. And then Winthorpe's girlfriend Penelope basically wants to have sex with him. So Winthorpe says, well, I don't want it now.
You can have it.
And they show him throw it in the garbage. Later on, when Billy Ray is in the house, and now Coleman has to make hors d'oeuvres and
for the big party,
and he sneaks a drink. So they established that Coleman has this relationship with his employers through food. And how these two employers treat food. I thought it was significant for the first time today at the end of the film, now that Coleman is a rich guy.
Oh, yeah.
And Coleman asks his new lady, what should we have for lunch? The cracked crab or the lobster? And she says, why can't we have both? And Coleman, who has been a butler, who knows how difficult it is to make lunch for rich people, is now a rich person and says, yeah, make both of them.
He takes great delight in that. Because as much as I like Coleman, and I think Coleman brings a lot of warmth to this film, I think Coleman is just as mercenary as everybody in this movie. Like, ain't nobody in this, like I love the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis's character isn't a hooker with a heart of gold. Right.
Like, she makes a calculation. She looks at his hands. She says, you have a manicure. You've never done any manual labor. it seems like you're telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take a risk and invest in you.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Winthorpe actually tries to commit suicide.
He does.
Like, it's not played for jokes. He tries to shoot himself and then he takes pills.
Mm-hmm.
He has not found the love of a good woman at this point.
That's true.
Yeah, it's only when Billy Ray comes and the jig is up. So yeah, I love that about this film. Like, I love how sort of vigorously amoral this film is.
Yeah.
Like, it feels very much like a modern film.
Yes.
Right. Which outside of, Charles Dickens always has this real kind of moral backdrop to it. So people, because if you look at people, oh yeah, it's like Oliver Twist, or, this isn't Charles Dickens, but, people talk about it being The Prince and the Pauper. But I don't feel like this has that morality to it.
No.
That these other works have. So, which makes me love it more.
You mentioned the word subtle.
Mm-hmm.
I will now illustrate to you how actors, especially extras, subtly go about making their mark in a movie. And for that, ladies and gentlemen, I give you one Giancarlo Esposito
as cellmate number 2.
Cellmate number 2, who, knowing that he is in this film just to be cellmate number 2 and to stand as Eddie Murphy's Billy Ray Valentine, gives this full, fantastical story about why he is in prison. And 2, cellmate number 2, cellmate white guy, and bandana do-rag,
yes,
aka Eddie Murphy's childhood friend, Clint Smith, who has a role in pretty much a lot of Eddie Murphy films.
People would recognize him the most as
the third barber from Coming to America.
You ain't never meet no Martin Luther the King.
Giancarlo Esposito, who maybe has not even a line.
I was about to say
maybe 2 words.
Like, yeah, he's barely have right.
As anything in this film. But it's Giancarlo Esposito, because Giancarlo Esposito has come up with a backstory for cellmate number 2, where cellmate number 2 is only in prison because he was caught trying to recreate that famous scene from Fame where all the kids are just dancing in the streets. And he was arrested in the streets and brought to prison. How do you know that is his backstory? Because he is standing there with his hands holding the bars
spread,
yeah. One leg up, tank top, so that his arms and the flexing of them can be gratefully adorned as he sits and listens intently to Billy Ray Valentine.
Physically, I think there is more of him in the frame than Eddie Murphy at points.
There is.
Like, he really, like, this really isn't a case of, is that him? I don't know if that's him or not.
No.
Like, it is 100% Giancarlo Esposito.
This is
because he has 100% positioned himself so that you can see him.
He has filled the screen.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Giancarlo Esposito.
Right.
If y'all not going to give me a credit, I'm gonna make
it right.
My credit.
Right. Karate Man Bruise on the inside.
Right.
But it's Giancarlo Esposito filling the screen.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So much so, I bet Trading Places is still on his resume.
well, when you look at the cast, it's funny. You go to Google and you get the cast, and you know how it says show more. Like it'll show like the first 2 lines. Giancarlo Esposito is on the second row as cellmate number 2.
See, there you go.
Like, there's everyone we talked about. There's Penelope, who was Lewis's girlfriend. Muffy is on there. Remember, Muffy was one of the other girls. sitting at the table.
Wow, Muffy.
Frank Oz is on there as a cop because it's Frank Oz and the cameo.
And he is funny.
Yeah. But then it's Giancarlo Esposito.
As cellmate number 2.
He gets on there before Al Franken. He gets on there before Bo Diddley, who plays the pawn shop guy, who has a great line talking about mercenary and capitalism. I adore the exchange in the pawn shop where Winthrop is trying to pawn his watch, and he's given all of, this is the finest watch, and it's waterproof,
right?
And it's this fine German engineering, and it is $6,900 retail, and this, that, and the other. But Bo Diddley's pawn shop owner tells him how this works. Well, in Philadelphia, it's worth $50. Because all this stuff only has the value that people will give you for it.
That's right.
So it's like this wonderful, sort of adjacent scene to the wonderful scene where the Dukes explain to Billy Ray what it is they do, and they talk about being commodities brokers, and how they do this in commissions, and all of this. And Billy Ray says, "Oh, y'all are bookies."
Yes,
because this is all the same system.
That's right.
Some people just have fancier names for it. It's a great movie. It really is, and I think it's the type. I think you have to talk about it being great, because I think it's a type of film that either A, people haven't seen it, or B, they haven't seen it in a long time. Like if you haven't seen Trading Places in a long time, you should watch it. You should, because it really does hold up.
It really does. It really does. So with that, I take it that you are recommending.
I am strongly recommending Trading Places. Like, I won't go so far as to say it's required viewing, like I do for a lot of these films that are this good. But it's a great movie. It really is. And I do think it resonates. It really does resonate right now when we talk about the obscenity of wealth. Yeah, with some of these people, and how it's just getting more and more. There's no other word for it. Obscene. And the Duke brothers, the way, like I said, I adore them as characters. So yeah, I'm very strongly recommending this film.
Would you recommend this for as a movie to watch at Christmas?
I think it's a Christmas movie. I think for a certain type of person, like I think It's a Wonderful Life is an amazingly dark film. I think what is it? I think, is it The Year Without a Santa Claus, where Santa Claus says he's going to quit because that one kid's a dickhead?
The animated.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like I think there's a vein of really dark Christmas. I mean, frankly, I think a Charlie Brown Christmas is pitch black.
Yeah, it's not the
like a Charlie Brown Christmas is just bleak.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's with a nice tree.
Yeah, but you got to get to that.
You got to get to the tree.
You got to get through the shadow of the valley of death, which Charlie Brown goes through for 22 minutes.
That's very true.
So along those lines, or Another Lonely Christmas. I always think about Prince's song, Another Lonely Christmas. Yeah, which is about his dead girlfriend.
I just looked it up. Ever since 1997, the Italian channel Italia 1 broadcasts Trading Places and Christmas Eve Nightfall, and it regularly gets more than 10% of the share. So it's a big hit.
There you go.
There you go. I would definitely recommend people to watch Trading Places. It's funny. It's spot on. Like I said, there are parts of it that don't age well, but they quickly pass. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. So it's a very funny, engaging film, and it's quick. It doesn't last long.
I mean, but it's 2 hours.
I know, but it doesn't feel like it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. Farrell Blackwell says that Trading Places should be aired as the last of a Christmas trilogy featuring a Charlie Brown Christmas and Christmas Story.
Oh, but A Christmas Story is fun.
Well, yeah, I
was going for bleak.
Well, he says the last of a Christmas trilogy.
Right.
And I think the idea is you're getting to the adult movie.
Oh, okay, I get you.
You know what I mean? So you got the animated,
right?
The Charlie Brown Christmas, Christmas Story, which is for the family.
Yes.
And then Trading Places. Here's where I would disagree with Farrell Blackwell.
Okay.
Because to your point, A Charlie Brown Christmas, because of our nostalgia, feels like it's must see, right? And maybe it is must see.
Yeah.
But it is dark.
It is.
So I would say if your family has already seen A Charlie Brown Christmas before, that instead think of A Charlie Brown Christmas by playing the music of Vince Guaraldi.
Vince Guaraldi, they love.
Is it Guaraldi?
I think it's a hard G.
Okay, Vince Guaraldi. Play that music, and then start your Christmas trilogy, but begin, since you want to go animated, with The Grinch That Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is genuinely funny, a little dark, definitely ends in a happier,
ends at a
lighter, brighter place.
Right.
Then go to A Christmas Story.
Okay.
And end with Trading Places.
Trading Places.
That's, I think, the route to go.
Okay. But make sure you watch Trading Places. Now, I don't want to turn to a thing. Are you a Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not?
I mean, I'm fine with it being seen as a Christmas movie. I don't think I ever thought about it before that argument came up. I just saw it as the best action movie, like one of the best action movies ever.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, I'm fine with it being, if you want to see it as a Christmas movie. So if you want to throw some action in on your Christmas,
do a little Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay. Motherfucker.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
I guess Reginald Vell Johnson. I guess I can't use him to get Die Hard on here, huh? I love Die Hard because you're right. Because Die Hard is perfect.
You have a better argument with Die Hard 3.
Die Hard
because
3.
of Samuel Jackson.
Right. You said that before, and I realized I don't remember anything about Die Hard 3.
Really? I mean, it's probably the second best Die Hard.
No, I mean, okay. I'll take your word for it.
Wow.
And I saw it. I know I've seen it. I just don't remember anything about it.
You got to watch it again.
Yeah.
It gives you all your Lethal Weapon feels.
Oh, I don't know about that. Slow down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for our review of Trading Places. Before we tell you what we're going to be watching next week, because we actually have a bit of a curveball to throw you.
Watch out now.
I invite you all to like and follow the Michaud Mission on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Subscribe to the Michaud Mission on YouTube at Michaud Mission. Email all of your thoughts, concerns to michaudmission@gmail.com. Michaud Mission is spelled MICHEAUXMISSION. 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. Go to michaudmission.com and hit swag, where you can find all of our cool designs and gifts available for the holiday season from our good friends at T Public. The Michaud Mission is a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com, curated podcast for your listening pleasure. They make podcasts work. And also, if you want to help us where you listen to the show, give us a 5-star rating and review, because believe it or not, that really helps people find our show. Okay. Next week on the Michaud Mission, we were scheduled, if you're following on our website, we were scheduled to review the film Honky.
Yes.
With Randy Green,
Yeah.
aka Arson, the voice of reason from the chart-topping bluegrass hip-hop band Gangsta Grass.
Yes, sir.
However, he had to call an audible because he's actually going to be in the studio
Oh yeah.
working on new stuff.
Hey, make that music.
Make that music. So we are holding off Honky because that was his film.
Mm-hmm.
But we have found another guest, and boy, have we got a great guest for you, ladies and gentlemen, next week here on the Michelle Mission, as we sit with Joanne Griffith of American Public Media
Yes.
and review from 2016, Hidden Figures.
Black ladies math in it.
Yes. Next week, episode 280 will be Hidden Figures.
Yes, sir.
Guest Joanne Griffith of American Public Media next week on the road to 300 here on the Michelle Mission. Until then, he's Vince, I'm Len, and in parting, we say